Great Risings. Great Risings Collective. Well, I'm having my cup of joe. How about we take this spoon on out of there and not be too hood with this shit, right? Um, I know, well, this is pre-recorded. I kind of like the pre-recordings a little better versus going absolutely like live because I don't have the interactive audience at this point. I don't have that status, and that's okay. That's okay. So it's pre-recorded. So by the time you get this, which I don't know when it will be posted, it may be evening, it may be midday, and so it may not be morning when you review it or see it. Nonetheless, I know that you're supposed to be very careful on how you start the rising of your day because your first thought usually goes throughout the day with you. So if you hear a song first thing in the morning, you probably be singing that song to yourself um, for most of the day. And your thought, whatever your first thought is in the rising, you'll probably take that with you, for most of the day. And so I'm trying not to push any type of or any particular type of energy, I think, onto you if you watch this video. I hope that you understand that a diet, a diet is not just what you intake. Um, the food that you eat. That is not the only diet that you have. The diet that you have is all of your senses, what all of your senses intake throughout the day. Your diet consists of information because your body takes what it needs from almost any source of information. It takes what it needs from it, feeds itself, and discards of the rest. So, whatever you're watching, whatever you're reading, whatever you're listening to is a part of your diet, not just what you're eating. And I'm saying all that to say, fuck these people that feel like they have some type of rights to your life. The Creator is in charge. The Creator is a glorious chess player and developer. The Creator moves furniture around or move pieces on the board in a way that is conducive to your divine purpose and conducive to the life that was already written for you. We have a habit of getting in our own way. Cool. But even when we choose to move on from people and situations, even when the Creator has already pre-written everything that is happening in our lives to shape us and mold us. So when He removed those people And those people feel a way about your removal. So much so that they send out negative, derogatory, hateful, envy, jealous, stalking vibes to you. Or even if they put it in the atmosphere through prayer, PREY. Fuck those people. Those people have a false sense of entitlement. These are the very people that, well, it kind of reminds me of this situation. Excuse my word stumbling. It reminds me of this situation. In a good book, I want to reference because I am not good with the exact pages and verses and numbers, but I can tell you by scenario and you'll understand what I'm talking about. In a good book, the creator told Judas, "It is you that will betray me with a kiss." In a good book, he told one of his other disciples, Joseph, Peter, that you will deny me. You will deny me 3 times, and on the third time you deny me, the crow will gawk, or the hen will roost, or, there'll be a sign that what I'm telling you is a prophecy. So, people that are experiencing separation anxiety, separation um, from you, and I'm talking about in the physical. I'm not talking about those of that their essence have ascended to be back with the creator. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about physical death where you're in a casket. I'm talking about just the physical removal of some people in your life. There are some people that have a false sense of entitlement, and they will deny you and still pray to the same God that they've been praying to, or whatever is takes dominion over their life, whatever they believe in. And they will PREY and then get upset when their intent, their true selves are revealed. And they don't get upset with the creator, as far as I know, and not that they should, but they get upset with you, as if you have an obligation to continue to be with them or around them or offer any other of your resources to them after it has been revealed that they have betrayed you. And once the revelation comes about that they have betrayed you, even in the smallest of ways, it will come out. They then begin to PREY because no one wants to take accountability for their actions. No one wants to take accountability that whoever you really, really are, no matter how much you try to cover it up for other people, the real you will always be revealed. I'm going to tell you some of the simplest of ways. There were people in my life that I held in very high regard. And I'm not just talking about my ex, because I know a lot of the videos I make are about my ex, because I'm rearing the end of that process of the breakup. But I just have to be real about whatever it is that I'm feeling or going through at that time. So a lot of my videos were about my ex. But this is about just people who I consider to be friends, that I would call sisters and that I would call brothers. Because when I look back at it now, they were trauma bonds. And I think a lot of us have trauma bonds and have had trauma bonds and not really known that they were trauma bonds, because in the purity of our hearts, us becoming friends with them had everything to do with, I recognize your situation, you recognize my situation, maybe because we've been through it together, maybe it's similar, maybe we suffered because of the same person, whatever the similarities are in the story. I like to believe the intent was we can help each other get through this, since we both have similar situations and or experiences. But then there comes a time where the creator calls you into serenity. The creator calls you within, because there's time for an ascension. And sometimes when the creator calls you within, people who have been a part of your life up until that point may not understand it. They may feel like you're acting funny. They may feel like, you changing up on them. They may feel like the enemy have got a hold on you, but they just don't understand it because they don't understand. When you have an understanding, a bond between you and the creator, you'll begin to understand the dynamics of your individualized relationship with the creator, and therefore you can have a higher level of overstanding when it's someone else's turn that they need to retreat and go within. But there's people who make excuses for not showing up for you, not being positive reinforcement, not playing their position in your life, because they are not coming to terms, or either they're not being real with who they actually are. You you can let's use this for an example. We all have situations in life that we're dealing with. Whether we go through these situations at the same time or not. But I know that I have been there for people that I love. I have been there. Although I know love, sincere love, is not a reward, it is not something that may be returned to the same capacity. However, these brothers and sisters that I needed emotionally, they did not show up for me. And I know for a fact that their true intent was being revealed, in which was I was just a source for them at the time. And well, I didn't go that deep enough with the scenarios to figure out or to be discerned if God just may have been using me to assist them. That could be the case. But I didn't need anything from them that I had not already given them. And that's why I take offense to it. I just needed, at the time, a simple phone call or a text. I needed for them to be concerned, just enough just to check in and say, are you okay? They didn't do that. And I take it as the Creator has moved me from them and revealed their true intent for a reason, not to hurt me, but because where I'm going, they're not supposed to go with me. He got something else for them to do. And that's cool. I understand it. And from a humanity aspect, I'm okay with it now. I wasn't then. And it took me a little while because these are the same people who you feel the shift in energies. You feel the vibrational change. You hear what has been spoken upon you, even though you wasn't in the exact room, place, and space at the time. Intuitively, you know what it is. And it pisses me off because y'all are the people that PREY on me because you have a false sense of entitlement. Somehow or another, you feel like I somehow, some way owe you to continue to be in your life, to continue to feed you spiritually, support you mentally and emotionally. Like there were things that, like I said, maybe the Creator had used me for at the time, but for the relationships to be one way and be one sided, I have an issue with that. And I really don't know if it's contradictory at this point because I am still on my spiritual journey and I am still learning. And it is the best fucking decision that I have made for myself. When I chose myself, I realized that I chose the Creator. I am now trying to get in tune with your essence. I'm trying to get in tune with your soul right now because I'm trying to relate to it for you to fully understand what I'm saying. That I have been on a spiritual journey for a very, very long time, and I have fell short and I've strayed. If you ask me to be honest, I think it was all a part of the process. I think at times I was supposed to stray. Not that he wanted me to stray, but there was a lesson in the straying to be like, don't fucking do it again. Because every time you stray, this is what happens. Right? So I realized at this point on my journey that I didn't realize before that I kept looking for the Creator outside of me. Right? I kept looking for the Creator to show up outside of me. I kept looking for the Creator to show up outside of me and people, places, and things and experiences. But I am at this point on my spiritual journey. I realized we are made in the likeness of. Now the good books say he died for our sins. Okay. I really don't trust the good book. I believe there's some true things in there, but I also believe there's a lot of falsities in there that's geared towards the supremacy of a race who deem themselves supremacy, and etc. etc. I don't want to get too far off that and lose focus off of what I'm saying. But I have realized that I can stop looking outside of myself for the creator, because the creator is within me, and that the divinity I have within me is a direct line of contact, intuitive um, communication. It's all already within me, and I have a direct line. And that is what I'm working on improving. Not just my contact, but the God that is within me. And on this journey, I'm coming to the realization that I'm okay with people being temperamental. I like really have no choice. I have no control. I have no say of that matter. I just have to appreciate um, when I have an experience with them, and I have to um, take it for what it's worth with my experiences that I have with them. But to those people who have a motherfucking issue with the position they play in people's lives, and that coming to a halt, whether it's a screeching halt, whether it's a delayed halt, but at any time you have a problem with someone exiting your life, so much so that you send out or put in the atmosphere negative, derogatory, disrespectful, hurtful, harmful, PREY into the atmosphere for this person, you have a serious fucking problem. So I said all that to say, fuck them people. You don't owe nobody a motherfucking thing. And particularly, we ain't even gonna get on the material shit. We not gonna get on them paying your bills, or we not getting on that. I am trying to appeal to your soul right now. We're gonna get on what the fuck have they really, really done for you? You calling them sister, you calling them brother, because at the time y'all had trauma bonds, in which we never really acknowledged they were trauma bonds, because we thought in our sincerity we were being there for people that was being there for us. But when we look back on our spiritual growth, we realize that the only thing that really connected the friendship was trauma. Okay, and now that that trauma has passed, or those scenarios and situations have passed, you really don't have that much in common. It's so plain that when you get on the telephone or when you get through text, there's really nothing to talk about, because that trauma is either healed or has been discarded. And so, because it's not so relevant anymore, you now have nothing to talk about, right? Okay. But then they get an attitude about that shit. They get an attitude if you suddenly become distant, or if you just become distant at all. And they're not understanding or understanding that it's because you've been called for something else and you have to retreat for a little while or a while, however long the creator is working with you to get you to a better space. They don't understand that, but they don't want to because they're fucking selfish, and because ultimately they feel threatened in some type of way of your absence, and they have a full sense of entitlement to your time and to your persons, so they get attitude. Fuck them people. Because honestly speaking, when you are healing your traumas, you go back and you ask yourself, what the fuck have that person ever actually really done for me? Because I'm not trying to seem like I'm a saint, because I ain't no damn saint. I for sure am a sinner. But I was good in my fucking sinning. I was good natured. When you was going through some shit, I was there. If you ask me what is it that I actually really fucking done for you, maybe I did not do anything for you materially. But when you called my fucking phone, when you rang my phone, I was there to be the ear, to be the shoulder, to pray with you, to talk you through. And I don't know where this shit was even coming from that I can help people in the way that I have. But I know that I have because I had divine confirmation. I know that I have because to this day I get notifications, whether it be text messages or DMs or whatever. I get notifications that I've assisted in areas in which I had no knowledge about until they made me aware. So I know if I'm doing it for people that I really didn't have a bond with at the time, I know I was doing it for people that I was loving. And it's okay. I didn't need them to acknowledge me for doing it. What I needed from them was emotional support. By a simple text, the same thing I offered them. When I was going through some time that was low in my life. And I want to say that people have reached out to me, and I appreciate those people that did. They have helped more ways than other, and you get into this habit of allowing a culture and the new age society to mold you a little bit. So in my head, in fighting, I'm like, oh no, I don't want no new friends, I don't want no new friends. Well, you know what, everybody has an expiration date in your life, and sometimes people are being replaced. And if you're trusting God, you're trusting the process because you know that he's moving furniture around in your life, then bitch, you might need to get some new friends. He's moving people around for your assistance to ascend you to where he needs you to go. So you might want to not be so closed off about having new friends. What you want to do, or meeting new friends, but what you want to do is get your fucking discernment up so you could decipher the friends from the frenemy, from the opposition. That's what the fuck you want to do. But to all those motherfucking people that couldn't just send a text and ask if you're okay, and you know who the fuck you are. I ain't gotta call you out. Fuck them people. Fuck them people who the reason why they didn't reach out is because you have retreated and they took offense to it. Fuck them people. Fuck them people who waited all these fucking years, who wore a mask all these motherfucking years. And now, cause see, that's one thing too. The mask can't stay on forever. Motherfuckers they get pretty crafty. That's what the good books say. The devil is crafty and cunning. So they get crafty. But they cannot hide forever. And so when they're revealed, fuck them people who get an attitude at you because who they really are has been revealed to you. And you set boundaries and you stand up for yourself and remove yourself from their energy. And or maybe it was just time for them to exit your life. But for whatever reason, they have truly been revealed, but they take offense to you now acknowledging who they really are. Fuck them people. Have a wonderful day.